Welcome to the Bite Size Fitness Show, where we talk all things fitness, nutrition, and habits, and break them down into smaller, more digestible, bite-sized pieces of content for you to enjoy. My name is Sean Bikirk, and I am your host, and in today's episode, I'm going to be giving you 5 calorie-saving hacks that you can easily implement. So this is for those who are looking to drop some additional body fat. Maybe you're like me and you're a big eater and you still want to be able to eat lots of food, not feel like you have to cut down portions to a point where it's leaving you feeling starving all the time, but still getting down to a point where you have to cut your calories and lower your body weight. The caveat I will say for this video is there's going to be some suggestions that I make that I'm substituting maybe a quote-unquote less healthy food or item for something that is healthier. And context really matters. So this specific episode is for those looking to drop calories. If your main goal was just to improve your health, feel great, your energy improving, then some, but maybe not all of these will apply. And I'll try to be a little bit more specific with each one of these as we go. So we'll start with number 5. Number 5 has a couple different items that would fall into this category, and that would be low to no calorie beverages. The first and my favorite one to add to this list is black coffee. So I know for some people it's a huge transition going from your regular coffee to your black coffee, but what I will say is if you just do it long enough, it's just a matter of time before your body gets used to it. You don't get that same bitter or distaste that you didn't enjoy before. You'll actually start to enjoy it, and your cream, sugar, all that stuff will actually seem overly powerful then again. So just take some time. But black coffee is a great alternative. It has between like 2 to 5 calories, so basically nothing. Even if you're doing something like intermittent fasting and you're not eating in the morning and you're feeling a little bit hungry, coffee is going to help you deal with that hunger a little bit. There's a ton of health benefits when it comes to black coffee, and it's just one of those ways to get you through the morning, to make you feel full without overeating or overindulging in the calories, especially when you compare it to adding a ton of cream, adding a ton of milk, adding a ton of sugar, or even worse, it's pumpkin spice latte season coming up. You get some of those at Starbucks and those things really add up. So black coffee over some of those dressed up coffees can really make a big difference. And then even like diet drinks. So Diet Coke versus regular Coke, Diet Sprite versus regular Sprite, diet energy drinks versus regular energy drinks. This one I know can be a little bit controversial just because of the unknowns when it comes to aspartame. And I know some people want to avoid those. Totally fine. But as a general rule of thumb, you want to try to limit the amount of calories you're getting from beverages. So one of the best ways to do that, of course, is going from these high calorie, high sugar ones to no calorie, no sugar ones. Again, just comes down to your personal preference if it's something that you're not too worried about. As of right now, all the studies that we've seen with aspartame or artificial sweeteners have been very, very inconclusive. And I think at this point, September 2023, it's not controversial to suggest that the diet drinks are a much healthier alternative than the regular high calorie, high sugar drinks. So that's number 5. Number 4 will be protein powders. So protein powders, I just want to throw this right out of the way. Protein powder is not a substitution for foods that are high in protein. Now, what you're going to notice if you've ever tracked your calories and you've tracked your protein is that it's super difficult to hit some of those protein targets with food alone. So you want to try to get as much of it as you can through food, but protein powder is a great way to boost that protein up in your diet without adding a ton of calories. In fact, most protein powders will probably be between 100 to 150 calories per scoop and anywhere between like 25 to 30 grams, which is very protein dense and very good on being relatively low calories, especially when you compare it to food. But once again, just from the health benefits alone, you don't want to substitute all of your meals for all protein. So stick to 1 or 2 scoops of protein per day, but it is a really effective way to get a lot more protein in your diet without going crazy in the calories. Because if you were to compare protein powders with almost every single food, protein for protein, calorie for calorie, even the leaner meats, even the leaner cuts of protein, you're going to notice protein powder wins on the vast majority of times. So number 4 would be protein powder. Number 3, one of my favorite hacks is doing cooking spray. So like a PAM versus regular cooking oils. Oils can really add up calories throughout the day. Even when we're talking about something that's very healthy, something that's good for you, like extra virgin olive oil, not saying that you should eliminate that altogether, but I think we tend to take way more calories in the form of cooking oil than we probably realize. And by using these sprays, you get 0 to 5 calories each time. And the reason you're using it is really just to get the cooking surface to be non-stick. So you might sacrifice a little bit of taste, but probably not as much as you would think. And you're definitely saving yourself a ton of calories. So once again, just like I mentioned at the beginning, some of these were taking away things that are relatively healthy, like olive oil, and substituting it with something that doesn't necessarily have those health benefits, like a cooking spray. But if we're talking about just calories, this one's going to be a big substitution. You can easily get 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 1,000 calories per day in cooking oils if you're just not really paying attention at all. So it can really add up, can really make a big difference, especially if you know you tend to use a lot of cooking oils or butter in your meals. Number 2, along the same lines with regards to switching a healthy alternative for something that maybe doesn't have as many nutrients, would be egg whites instead of eggs. So eggs are super healthy. They have way more vitamins and minerals in the yolk than they do in the egg white, but they also have a lot more calories, a lot more fat, and you simply can't eat as much or as many eggs as you would be able to with egg whites. You're also going to sacrifice a little bit in terms of taste. So if you just cannot stand the taste of egg whites, what you can do is if you typically have like 3 or 4 eggs, you can have 1 egg and then the rest egg white. So you still get a little bit of that taste, but the calories will be way lower, and the protein is going to be way higher. So what I would say is anytime I'm really looking to get dialed in and get lean for the summer, a big trip or something like that, egg white omelets are like a staple in my diet. So every lunch I would have an egg white omelet. You can have a ton of food. So you can use a ton of egg whites there. The protein's going to be through the roof, and the calories are shockingly low. As far as I know, I think in terms of like protein for calorie, egg whites might be the very best thing. So consider taking egg whites over eggs, or at least change that ratio, and you'll see, especially if you're counting your calories and your protein, you'll see what a huge difference it makes, and that can be an absolute game changer. And then the number one thing here, you've probably seen so many people talk about it, and it's probably driving you crazy by now, but the hype is real. Get yourself an air fryer. So an air fryer is great for the same reasons I talked about the PAM spray versus the cooking oils. You don't need any oils when you're cooking with the air fryer, so it saves you a ton of calories. It also saves you a ton of time, so it's going to be a lot quicker to cook, and the taste, in my opinion, is better than what you would get in the oven or the stove. So I just think there's so many great benefits that you would get from an air fryer that you don't get from cooking with oils, and it makes your life so much easier. So if you haven't tried it yet and you've been hearing all this hype, I can confirm the hype is real, both from a taste, a time, and a health point of view. So there it is, guys. Those are the top 5 calorie saving hacks. All of these are nutrition related. They're all relatively easy and simple adjustments to make. So try 1, 2, 3, all 5 of them if you want, and you'll see what a big difference you'll get on that scale. If you do it for long enough, those little things really do add up. So hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I will see you in the next one.